ClickUp just solved AI's biggest problem, and it's saving 4 million teams from productivity loss every day. Unlike ChatGPT and other AI tools, ClickUp converges all your work into one platform, so your AI super agents have full context to prioritize tasks, execute workflows, and draft documents instantly. Teams using ClickUp finish work 30% faster and cut meetings in half. Try ClickUp for free today and get 15% off AI upgrades at clickup.com/podcast. That's CLICKUP.com/podcast.
Most drivers overpay for car insurance, not because they're careless, but because the system is needlessly complicated. Jerry fixes that. Traditional comparison sites give you quotes once, then disappear. But Jerry can handle all the insurance shopping legwork and never stops working. Compare 50-plus insurers side by side and purchase directly in the app. No spam calls, no hidden fees. They'll even monitor price trends and can alert you to better rates. Drivers who save with Jerry could save over $1,300 a year. Download the Jerry app or visit jerry.ai/ACAST today.
We interrupt this program to bring you an important Wayfair message. Wayfair's got style tips for every home. This is Styles McKenzie helping you make those rooms sing. Today's style tip. When it comes to making a statement, treat bold patterns like neutrals. Go wild, like an untamed animal print area rug under a rustic farmhouse table from Wayfair.com. Arr, fierce. This has been your Wayfair style tip to keep those interiors superior.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
We all prefer things a certain way, like groceries. If you want groceries just how you like them, you gotta try Instacart. They have a new preference picker that lets you pick how ripe or unripe you want your bananas. Shoppers can see your preferences upfront, helping guide their choices. Because when it comes to groceries, the details matter. Instacart. Get groceries just how you like.
ClickUp just solved AI's biggest problem, and it's saving 4 million teams from productivity loss every day. Unlike ChatGPT and other AI tools, ClickUp converges all your work into one platform, so your AI super agents have full context to prioritize tasks, execute workflows, and draft documents instantly. Teams using ClickUp finish work 30% faster and cut meetings in half. Try ClickUp for free today and get 15% off AI upgrades at clickup.com/podcast. That's CLICKUP.com/podcast.
Hello, I'm Sarah.
I'm Toby.
And welcome to the Whispering Woods podcast. We have one long story to share today, and it's all about...
Plat-Eyes and Hags.
Yes, it is indeed. But before we get into that, if you'd like to support this podcast, you can do so by visiting patreon.com/The Whispering Woods, where we have a number of tiers, and you can listen ad-free for a small monthly fee. We are also on Apple Premium, where for $4.99 a month you can listen ad-free to all episodes. You can also support the show by coming and joining our Facebook group. It's still pretty exclusive in there. I need to pick it up again, but all in good time. Just having a bit of a break at the moment, and we'll be back in full force come April.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's the winter. It's still winter, and I'm just taking a step back until my bones feel warm again.
Yeah.
Right. Plat-Eyes and Hags. Are you ready for the story?
Yes, I am.
The Gullah Geechee are descendants of West and Central Africans, enslaved on the sea islands and coastal plantations of the Lowcountry of Georgia and South Africa. Isolated in these regions, they preserved a unique Creole language and a rich spiritual folklore. For a long time, any ghostly apparition or sinister spirit in the Lowcountry was simply called a haint, a term for haunt or ghost. But over time, people realised not all haints were the same. Gullah law eventually classified the evil spirits into two frightening categories: Plat-Eyes and Hags. This taxonomy of haints reflects the Gullah belief in a spirit-filled world, closely intertwined with the physical. A traditional proverb says that what happens in our physical world first happens in our spiritual world. In Gullah culture, when someone dies, their soul may depart, but their spirit might linger. Benevolent ancestor spirits can guide and protect, but malevolent ones can wreak havoc. Plat-Eyes and Hags are prime examples of those dark forces crossing into the living world. These legends also carry echoes of history. Enslaved Africans endured brutal conditions, and their combined folk beliefs created stories to explain the unexplainable horrors of life and death. For example, one tale states that during slavery, some masters would force enslaved people to bury treasure, then cruelly behead them so their restless ghosts would guard the hoard forever. Such a wronged, improperly buried spirit might become a Plat-Eye, cursed to eternally haunt the spot of its unjust death. The Hag legend, too, may have offered an explanation for the terrifying phenomenon of waking up unable to move, feeling a crushing presence, what outsiders call sleep paralysis, but Gullah folk interpreted as a wicked hag riding their bodies. These folklore creatures embody both the spiritual worldview and the traumatic history of the Gullah Geechee people. The Plat-Eye is one of the Lowcountry's most dreaded ghosts. According to the folklore, a Plat-Eye is the restless spirit of a human who was wronged in life or denied a proper burial. Angry and unable to move on, this ghost returns as a malicious, shape-shifting entity bent on vengeance, or simply on causing mischief and terror. The name Plat-Eye refers to its eye. In many accounts, the Plat-Eye's true form has a single, flat, large glowing eye in the centre of its forehead, like a plate. Spotting that one fiery eye glaring out of the darkness is a sign you're facing a Plat-Eye and not an ordinary animal. Descriptions of Plat-Eyes vary widely because of their shape-shifting nature. They often haunt lonely back roads, cemeteries or swamps near where they died, sometimes bound to the vicinity of their grave. A Plat-Eye can appear as a huge black dog with blazing red eyes, a headless man, a giant cat or hog, a phantom cow, or even a mist with glowing eyes floating in the air. It can also vanish entirely except for its eye, or shrink down to a small creature and then swell up to gigantic proportions. One Gullah account even claims a Plat-Eye might slip like a cold mist between a person's legs, then suddenly expand into a gigantic black hound to carry off its victim into the swamp. The Plat-Eye seems to revel in scaring unwary travellers. It may chase down dark roads at night, growing larger and more terrifying the more you run. Sometimes it merely stalks and scares, causing people to lose their way in the swamp or go mad from fear. But particularly powerful Plat-Eyes are said to envelope and consume those they catch, or even suck out a person's soul given the chance. Unlike some protective spirits in folklore, the Plat-Eye isn't a harmless guardian. It is almost always malevolent, or at best, vengeful. Local law holds that a Plat-Eye will target anyone who crosses its path, though some versions say it hunts the specific people who wronged it in life. For example, if someone was murdered, their Plat-Eye might doggedly pursue their murderer until justice or revenge is served. But generally, a Plat-Eye lurking by the old oak tree or in the abandoned plantation lane will gleefully harass any passerby. In Gula stories, chains rattling in the trees or disembodied animal noises in the dark are warnings that a Plat-Eye is near. And if you see an animal with unnatural features, like a dog with eyes that burn like coals, it could well be that Plat-Eye in disguise. One tale from Charleston recounts a Plat-Eye that loved to steal the breath of sleeping babies, blaming crib deaths on the wandering spirit. This same account, shared by a Lowcountry local, who attests it's been known to her family for 5 generations, insists that Plat-Eyes have no moral purpose. They're not avenging wrongs so much as taking whatever is in their path, out of pure malice. In other words, encountering a Plat-Eye is bad luck for anyone, sinner or saint. As mentioned, many Plat-Eyes are thought to originate from improper burials or injustices. If a person's body was not respectfully laid to rest, say they were murdered or hidden, or denied burial rituals, their angry spirit might manifest as a Plat-Eye. The legend of treasure guarding Plat-Eyes comes straight from the horrors of slavery. Stories say slave owners would sometimes kill, even behead, an enslaved person to watch over buried gold, scorning a headless Plat-Eye bound to that treasure. These origins give the Plat-Eye an extra layer of tragedy beneath its fury. In some tellings, only those with a special gift, for example, people born with a caul over their face, can see a Plat-Eye's true form. Others might just feel a sudden dread or hear chains and padding footsteps. And interestingly, Plat-Eye sightings are often linked to the dark phase of the moon, when night is at its blackest. Gula folk have a few tricks to ward off a Plat-Eye. By far the most common advice is to carry a stinky little charm, specifically a small burlap sack filled with equal parts gunpowder and sulphur, brimstone, is the recommended Plat-Eye repellent. The pungent sulphur and explosive powder odour apparently disgust the Plat-Eye, sending it fleeing from the person carrying the sachet. Other traditional measures include hanging Colbert blue bottles on tree branches or outside the house to create a bottle tree. The idea is that the curious spirit will get lured into one of the bottles and become trapped. When sunlight hits the bottle in the morning, the evil spirit is destroyed inside it. Blue bottle trees are a familiar sight in parts of the south, a bit of folklore art doubling as ghost traps. Some elders also say that simply sprinkling water across your doorway or around your bed will bar a Plat-Eye from crossing. This relates to a broader belief that malevolent spirits cannot pass water. Even a ring of ordinary water can stop them. Ultimately, though, the surefire way to banish a Plat-Eye is to find its body and give it a proper burial. If you can identify who the Plat-Eye was in life, no easy task if it's appearing as headless animals, digging up and reinterring their remains with prayers is said to put the spirit at peace. Short of that, outlasting its anger or avoiding its territory may be your only options. If the Plat-Eye is a roaming phantom, the Boo Hag is much more intimate. Gular folklore describes the Boo Hag as a hideous, skinless witch that slips into your home at night, perches on your chest, and steals your life breath as you sleep. In many ways, Boo Hags are akin to vampires, but instead of sucking blood, they suck out your energy and breath. A victim awakes extremely drained, feeling as if they've been ridden all night. Hence the common saying, "Don't let the rag ride ya," in South Carolina. Boo Hags are considered the most evil spirit one can come across, utterly malevolent and parasitic. The imagery of a predatory witch riding your helpless body at night is universally chilling, and it maps uncannily onto real phenomena like sleep paralysis, giving that frightening experience a supernatural explanation. In Gula belief, human beings consist of a soul, which departs to the afterlife upon death, and a spirit, which may linger. If the deceased was a good person, their spirit might stay as a protector or simply fade harmlessly. But if the person was evil or had sold their soul, their remaining spirit can mutate into a Boo Hag. A Boo Hag is essentially an undead witch. During the day, it may wear a stolen human skin and appear as an ordinary person, but by night it strips off this disguise to reveal its true form. Accounts describe the Boo Hag's natural appearance as skinless and red, slick with blood, with exposed muscles and protruding blue veins visible over its body. Its eyes glow or reflect like a cat's eyes in the dark. Some say the Boo Hag has long, wild hair, often white, trailing behind it, and others give it frightening features, like horns or fangs, to emphasize its demonic nature. It's a living nightmare, an undead witch with no skin, driven by hunger for human life force. The Boo Hag shares traits with the wider folklore of the night hag, or old hag, found in various cultures, which is often linked to the feeling of a creature pressing on your chest during sleep. Gula stories specifically place the Boo Hag in the role of this nocturnal attacker. The Boo Hag is sometimes even called a witch rider. Hags are said to have the power of flight. The Boo Hag can supposedly slip out of its skin and turn into a winged wispy form. Some describe it almost like a large night bird or merely a floating presence. It can flow under doors or through keyholes and cracks to reach its victim. One 19th century writer stated that hags could also change into animals or insects to infiltrate homes. Once inside, the Boo Hag silently positions itself on the sleeping person's chest. People in the Gula community believe that when you have a heavy, oppressive nightmare of being pressed down and unable to move or breathe, that's the Boo Hag riding you and drawing out your vitality If the hag is not interrupted, it will ride the victim until just before dawn, sucking out all the breath/energy it can. The victim will awaken in the morning, feeling inexplicably exhausted, weak or hag-tired, and this is taken as a sign a boo hag visited in the night. While many victims survive with only fatigue, folklore states that a truly ravenous boo hag will do worse. According to one account, by the time the victim wakes up in the morning, exhausted and sluggish, the boo hag has long since left for its second victim. The boo hag uses the energy drained from its first victim to skin its second, murdering the next person and stealing their skin to wear. This gruesome detail tells you about the vampiric nature of the boo hag. If it finds an opportunity, it will kill for fresh clothes. In practical terms, the legend warns that if someone dies mysteriously in their sleep and is found looking shriveled or drained, perhaps a boo hag took their skin. In Gula stories, a boo hag must always have a skin by day. Without it, the sunlight would burn it up, so it periodically needs to procure new human hides. One ghost or writer explains it like this: if you're lucky, you'll just wake up bone tired. If you're unlucky, you wake up with the hag still astride you. And if you try to fight back, she'll strip off your skin and take it for herself before fleeing. The Gula people, drawing from African traditions and their own creativity, developed many means to ward off boo hags and other haints. One famous defence is haint blue paint. For centuries, residents in Charleston, Savannah and the Sea Islands have painted their porch ceilings, door frames and window shutters a pale bluey-green colour, known as haint blue. Part of the reason was aesthetic. Indigo plantations made blue dye abundant, but folklorically, this colour is said to repel or confuse evil spirits, including boo hags. A pale blue resembles the sky or water, and some believe haints won't cross water, so a boo hag seeing a blue door might be tricked into thinking it cannot pass. Even today, you'll hear that haint blue keeps houses ghost-free. Another simple deterrent is salt. Gula folks would sometimes leave an open salt shaker or a bowl of salt by the bed, because hags, like many witches in folklore, hate salt. Throwing salt on a boo hag is said to injure it or stop it from getting back into its skin, destroying it at sunrise. But the most storied weakness of the boo hag is its compulsive need to count things. This quirk is common in many cultures' vampire or witch legends. Some evil spirits can't resist obsessively counting small objects. To exploit this, it's recommended to place a straw broom or a hairbrush beside your door or bedside. If a boo hag sneaks in, it will see the broom's bristles and feel an overwhelming urge to stop and count them one by one. Likewise, a brush with many bristles, or even a colander sieve with many holes, will ensnare its attention. The hope is that the creature will be so busy counting all night that it forgets to attack, and suddenly the rising sun will catch it still out of its skin, destroying the hag before it can slip away. People have indeed found brooms knocked over in the morning and taken it as proof that a boo hag came but got distracted counting. Aside from these measures, general spiritual protection was also used. Prayer, Bible verses, and hanging consecrated objects can help, as could the ubiquitous porch light, a lamplight left burning all night, which some say keeps hags at bay, similar to how a jack-o'-lantern wards off evil. And if all else fails, and you find a boo hag riding you, folklore suggests do not engage it. Endure the attack if you can. An alarmed boo hag is more dangerous. If you wake up, don't move, one source advises, so you might survive the visit. As terrifying as that sounds, it may be better than angering the hag into a skin-stealing frenzy. The boo hag legend has transcended the Gula community in some ways, entering wider southern lore. The phrase, "don't let the hag ride you," has become a folksy way of saying sleep well, or don't have nightmares in the south. And folklorists note that the legend has parallels to the European concept of old hag syndrome, a traditional explanation for sleep paralysis in places like England and Newfoundland. Involves a witch or hag sitting on the sleeper's chest. The Gula Boo Hag is a unique New World take on this old myth, likely blending African beliefs about witches or malevolent night spirits with the experiences of enslaved people in America. Some scholars interpret the Boo Hag as a symbol of exploitation, a creature that rides you and saps your strength, might metaphorically represent the way enslaved labour drained people's lives. People around the world have independently come up with supernatural explanations, demons, jinn, etc., for the scary experience of sleep paralysis. But for those who grew up hearing Gula ghost stories, a brush with sleep paralysis might be automatically linked to the Boo Hag. One college student vividly recounted waking up at 20 years old, unable to move, and seeing the most vivid, detailed and scary creature they'd ever seen, sitting in a chair by his bed. He described it as an emaciated old woman with fragile greyish skin, pitch black eyes, brittle hair, and long claw-like nails, wearing a ragged white gown. For a full 2 minutes, he stared in absolute terror as this hag-like figure, who silently stared back at him without moving. He couldn't scream or move a muscle, a prisoner of his nightmare. When he finally jolted out of the paralysis, the horrific figure was gone. The experience was so concrete that it deeply disturbed him. "What freaked me out," he wrote, "was that I searched Old Hag and found other people having similar experiences." And many commenters informed him about the Boo Hag and related legends. While skeptics might dismiss it as just a hallucination of sleep paralysis, those familiar with Gula lore would nod knowingly. The hag rode him. Modern paranormal enthusiasts also weave these tales into broader discussions. The Plat-Eyes, for example, has been compared to cryptid sightings of large supernatural dogs or werewolf-like creatures. Some have speculated that certain dogmen reports of bipedal wolfish creatures might actually be Plat-Eyes, given the overlap. Both haunt woods and graveyards, have glowing red eyes, and sometimes chase people only to let them go, almost as if feeding on fear. a researcher on a cryptid forum, pointed out that Plat-Eyes often guard something, treasure or cursed sites, which is similar to how regional dogman legends sometimes involve guarding Native American burial grounds or other haunted places. He also notes the traditional remedy, sulphur and gunpowder strung in a bag, is said to keep the Plat-Eye away. For the Gullah Geechee themselves, these stories are not mere entertainment. They are a treasured link to ancestry and a way to impart values. In the misty lowland nights, under hanging Spanish moss, it's not hard to imagine why the Gullah Geechee feared things lurking just beyond the lamplight. The Plat-Eye and the Boo-Hag personify those fears. These legends have survived from the era of slavery through emancipation and into the modern day, carried on the tongues of storytellers who swear they're true, or almost true.
ClickUp just solved AI's biggest problem, and it's saving 4 million teams from productivity loss every day. Unlike ChatGPT and other AI tools, ClickUp converges all your work into one platform, so your AI super agents have full context to prioritize tasks, execute workflows, and draft documents instantly. Teams using ClickUp finish work 30% faster and cut meetings in half. Try ClickUp for free today and get 15% off AI upgrades at clickup.com/podcast. That's CLICKUP.com/podcast.
You know what's wild? Most people are still overpaying for car insurance just because it's a pain to switch. That's why there's Jerry. Jerry's the only app that compares rates from over 50 insurers in minutes and helps you switch fast with no spam calls or hidden fees. Drivers who save with Jerry could save over $1,300 a year. Before you renew your car insurance policy, do yourself a favor. Download the Jerry app or head to jerry.ai/ACAST.
I love these two creatures.
Yeah.
The Plat-Eye, quite dissimilar to anything we have here, but the Boo-Hag is very, very similar, as stated, to the old hag that we have in Europe. And I really don't believe in sleep paralysis anyway.
Do you not?
No, because too many people see the same thing. Whether it's old hag, shadow people, or the Hat Man. How can everybody see the same thing?
I don't know. My mate had it on.
What did he see?
It was like, I'm pretty sure it like come on out on top of him.
But yeah, too many people see the same thing, and there is a documentary about it called Nightmare. And there's just too many consistencies. We'd all see different things, won't we, in sleep paralysis?
Yeah.
I have had sleep paralysis before, actually. But I didn't see any creature, I just couldn't breathe. And this, like, wind was holding me down in place.
Yeah.
And I went, and then I came out of it. So that kind of reaffirms my point.
Yeah, I think you only can get it, like, led up straight
Right.
on your back.
No, I was on my back.
Apparently, like, you're facing towards the door or something, like your face.
Right. People trying to have sleep paralysis on purpose
Yeah.
as well, so they can investigate, and lucid dreaming and stuff like that. I have had lucid dreams before.
Have you?
Yeah. Yeah. Not very often, but just where I have some crazy dreams.
Yeah. I've had some mad dreams.
Yeah, scary. I have like proper nightmares every night. But, you know, as I've said before, I'm perimenopausal. So I'm on loads of drugs. The legal kind.
Yeah.
And they just give you some really strange dreams for sure. But yeah, I love these creatures, and I love the way that they say haints.
Yeah.
I love it. So it's just, yeah, I think it's great that there's this whole detailed thing about all of these different haints, and I just love the lore of it all. It's amazing.
Yeah, it is.
It is. Something to get your teeth into. We'll have a look and see if there's any more we can take a deep dive into.
Well, that's the end of this episode. I hope you enjoyed and we'll catch up with you again soon.
We will indeed. We will catch you again on Thursday for the Reddit episode. And don't forget that is now on YouTube as well. So you can see Roger and I in action. We do have a giggle. And then I'll be back again on Sunday for the After Dark. Take care, everyone.
Goodbye.
The stories told on the Whispering Woods are inspired by historical records, witness reports, and local folklore. While every effort is made to research and represent events accurately, some details, names, and locations may differ from official accounts or have been changed out of respect for those involved. These episodes are created for storytelling and entertainment purposes and should not be considered definitive fact or investigative journalism.